Hi guys, I'm Carey Sadler. I own Rivercity Pilates in North Liberty, Iowa. I have been a studio owner for 10 years. I want to talk to you today about newsletters and how I have used newsletters over the years to grow my business, to be an amazing marketing tool. So we've been doing newsletters at the studio for, I think, like 7 years when I looked back. Consistent monthly newsletters. And I have to tell you, they are an amazing tool for us. They consistently do a couple of big things. One is they connect with our current clients. Right? We send out content to keep our current clients in the know about what's going on. And I really think that is just such a huge thing because it keeps them coming back. It creates a sense of community at our studio. And it keeps them purchasing things, coming back for classes, buying products at our studio, that kind of thing. The other big thing that it does is that it consistently brings us new clients. So every month after our newsletter goes out, we consistently have people calling and emailing us to schedule those first sessions to come in and try Pilates. So those are two pretty big things. If you're thinking about doing a newsletter, maybe you know you need to do it but haven't done it yet, or maybe you kind of do one but you're not super consistent about it. Today I just wanted to talk about the two things that I think are necessary to have a successful newsletter in your business. Number one is consistency. Every month, I'm going to say the same day every month. I mean, is it the end of the world if it goes out like a day later? No, probably not. Like, get it out there. But you really need to get in the habit of sending out a newsletter on the same day every month, month after month, without missing months. Right? It's so important to get consistent content out there so that people are opening your email, they're reading it, they're connecting with you. If you're not sending it out, they're not doing it. And it seems like a really simple thing, like you just got to do it every month. But I really think it's the reason that so many studio owners don't do it, because it's work. Right? You have to put it into your schedule. You have to plan for it. You have to figure out what's going to be in the newsletter. You have to plan ahead. That's actually what I love about it, is that it's part of my schedule. I schedule out the newsletter. It also helps me kind of plan out events for the studio, because as I schedule the newsletter, I have to look ahead. I have to see what's coming up. So I love that piece of it, but it really has to become a habit in your business. So if you're not doing that, that is the number one most important thing. You have to get in the habit of doing it consistent. And I just want to take a little side note here, and I just want to say, if you're a perfectionist, you might need to get over that. It doesn't have to be absolutely perfect, right? You just got to get it out there. I mean, of course you want to make it as perfect as you can. Of course you want to tweak it so it gets to your ideal clients. But number one is you just have to have it. So if you're not doing that, that is your number one goal. Get a consistent newsletter, right? Number two is kind of the fun part. And that's what I would call the tweaking it, playing with it, and making it effective, right? Once you have it, once people are opening it, once they know it's coming, then is when you can start playing with it and figuring out, how can I really use this, right, to create results with our business. And I just want to take a side note and tell you that that's been the process for me. I have to tell you that, when I met Becky and I have been working together on newsletters for I think about 4 years now, maybe a little longer than that. When I met her, I was doing a consistent newsletter. And my consistent newsletter, it did a lot of things for our business. It connected our clients. They knew what was going on. They kind of expected it. It built my email list, so I had access to lots of people who would be interested in our products. But it wasn't until I met her that I really started to tweak with what could our newsletter do for us. Right? We had this newsletter that people are opening every month. How could we use it to bring in new clients, to get people to more classes, right? To build community. And that's the piece. If you have access to take Becky's webinar, the Anatomy of the Pilates newsletter, I think you're going to get huge amounts of information from in terms of how to make an effective newsletter, because you are going to get all of her knowledge and all of our experience. We've been playing with this for years, right? Tweaking things, trying new things, seeing what works, doesn't work, and able to kind of streamline the process to make it easier for you. So if you're just starting, or even if you have a newsletter and you want to learn, like you want to figure out some like tweaking tips and what can I do to make it more effective, I think you're going to love the webinar from that piece. Because that's key. And again, it's some work. It doesn't happen like overnight. You got to get the consistent newsletter first, and then you start tweaking it and changing things, and you learn what kind of language speaks to your clients, right? What kind of pictures do we put in there that really speaks to people and makes them want to take some action? All of that kind of goodness out of it. So those are my two things. Like if you want to do a newsletter, you got to be consistent, and then you got to be willing to tweak and play with it along the way and figure out what is going to make it most effective for your business. And just like teaching Pilates, like everybody's different, right? Not one body is the same. Newsletters are kind of the same way with different studios, right? Your studio is going to be different than mine. So those tweaks are about kind of tweaking it to your ideal client. And so those are my tips for today. If you're not doing a newsletter, I hope you'll dive in a little bit and learn more about it, because it really can be such a great tool for your business.